I think there's a lot that AI agents can do right now to automate the parts that don't require taste. But at the end of the day, the two hardest parts to scale, or at least fully automate, are the taste required to train a model and the taste required to articulate what that use case is.
Hey, I'm Matthias. I'm CTO and co-founder of Liquid AI, and I'm here with our Chief Operating Officer, Jeffrey Li.
Thanks for having me.
So we at Liquid build foundation models from text only to ones that do also audio input, audio output, vision language models, video, and also protein and other more experimental research projects. Where do you see the strongest demand right now, and where do you see a trend going?
Liquid foundation models can really be used to model any sequence, but the reality is not all sequences have high quality data in the public domain. And so we have strong convictions our models can be used for domains like bio, like financial services, cybersecurity, but in those industries, most of the high quality data is behind customer premises. Because of that, it is true we see a predominant amount of the organic adoption in audio, text, and vision. On the enterprise side, it's a bit more of a mixed bag because enterprises bring their own data. And so we're seeing strong demand across the board. The question is, how much of a head start can we give our customers before they introduce their data? And I think for modalities where there's more public data, we have these models that are strong baselines, so we can accelerate the time to market. You don't need as much high quality audio data, for example, to ship our model into production. You'll need a lot more wet lab data, for example, to ship into bioproduction.
We are training on device, or most of our models are for on device and like small compute budgets and memory budgets. And these models, different than a cloud model that usually can prompt it and can in a way shape the behavior with just changing the text prompt. How is Liquid trying to tackle this problem?
Our customers will often, before meeting us, build an amazing demo that really impresses their stakeholders, their bosses, their management. But then when it comes time to bringing this into production, there's only so much you can do without shrinking the model size. And I think what we found is the techniques that work with large models, such as prompting, as you said, don't work with the small model. The more you can customize about the model, the smaller you can get. And what we've seen over and over with our customers who've finished the art of the possible and are now trying to deploy into production, where things like privacy, latency, sovereignty really matter, the smaller you can get, the better. Our deepest customer engagements that really push us to build the best infrastructure out there are changing things about the model with us that no one else could change or is willing to change due to the effort or the cost to do so. That's how they see Liquid as being fundamentally differentiated at the technology level versus maybe, let's say, a great open source model that you can prompt engineer and fine tune.
The customization process that you mentioned before, do you also see AI agents taking that over?
Customization of a model, unlike maybe code, let's say, still requires a huge amount of human judgment. And when we say human judgment, we really mean expert taste, right? Accuracy is subjective. Accuracy is defined differently for everyone. An accurate model for me might not be an accurate model for you, even for the same use case, because we have different preferences. And so understanding that means that we have to capture what the model really needs to do. Even if someone could write down perfectly what they want the model to do, the reality is it'll change, right? The real world changes. For example, if you build a model that's supposed to translate between English and Korean, new slang appears all the time. There's new pop culture references all the time. How does the model learn those things? There's always a data distribution shift. We also suffer from model distribution shifts that might happen to changes upstream. Maybe the UI changes and now the way the user interacts with a feature changes and that causes the inputs to change and now we have drift again. And so I think there's a lot that AI agents can do right now to automate the parts that don't require taste. But at the end of the day, the two hardest parts to scale, or at least fully automate, are the taste required to train a model and the taste required to articulate what that use case is. And so I think those will be the last frontiers. I definitely think AI agents can be very helpful in accelerating those processes, but a full replacement, I think those will be the hardest.